Hey, what's going on, guys? Brian from Zombie Guitar here. This lesson here is on a concept known as hybrid scales. Okay, I'm not sure if that is the official name for it, but it is brought to my attention from someone that messaged me through my request form on my website. Basically, I have a request form on my website, and if I don't already have a lesson available for whatever topic at hand you're looking for the answer for, feel free to message me, because number one, it helps you out, and number two, it helps me to add content to my website, which ultimately is to help everyone out who decides to view my website, okay? So this lesson is specifically in response to Ken's question, okay? So, hybrid scales. Basically, he wants to know how to mix the major and minor scale together. All right, from my understanding, he's kind of a bluesy type player, and he hears a lot of licks that seem to combine both the major and minor pentatonics together into one sort of hybrid scale. Alright, so basically the way we're going to approach this is we're going to use a 1-4-5 progression in 12-bar blues. Alright, so if you don't know what a 1-4-5 progression in 12-bar blues is, I'm just going to play that for you real quick. I have it stored in my looper pedal here, but I'm just going to play it. So this is a 1-4-5 progression using just power chords, not major chords, not minor chords, just power chords for a 12-bar blues progression. So that goes like this. Starts over again. So you probably have heard that before somewhere. That's just the 12-bar blues progression, okay? Now this is in the key of A. Now because I'm using power chords, which are neither major nor minor, this can be considered to be in the key of A minor or the key of A major, okay? So if I wanted to play full chords, I could play an A minor chord as my 1 chord, a D minor chord as my 4 chord, okay, and an E minor chord as my 5 chord, okay, and the 5 chord can always be a dominant chord as well, okay, so that can be a 7th chord. So, or I can have my 1, 4, and 5 chords be major chords, okay, so I can have an A major, I can have a D major, and I can have an E major, and of course that 5 chord can always be a dominant chord as well. Most often used when, for the turnaround point, when the chord progression is about to start over. That's usually where the dominant 7 chord comes into play. Okay, so this could either be major or minor. So let's zoom into the fretboard diagram and see how we might approach attacking this from both a major perspective and a minor perspective. Alright, so one of the first things that you may do in order to approach soloing over this 1-4-5 progression is use the A minor pentatonic scale. Okay, most intermediate guitar players and even beginner guitar players learn the pentatonic minor scale right away. Okay, so the pentatonic minor scale would be played. You simply take your first finger, you locate your note A, because that's the key we're playing in, and then you just apply your pentatonic scale pattern. Okay, so alright, and that's just in one position there. So you could take that pentatonic scale and you could extrapolate it so it covers the entire fretboard, like you see here. That's your 5 pentatonic positions. Okay, but in order to keep things simple for the purpose of demonstrating the point that I'm trying to make here in this lesson, we're just going to stick to just the one position here for now, okay? So this is your pentatonic minor scale. Now, of course, you can add your blue note in here, making this the A minor blues scale. All right. Okay, so now if I was to just use that blues scale as my framework to solo over this, over this 1-4-5 progression in 12-bar blues, it might sound something like this. Okay, so just a little example of how you might go and utilize the A minor blues scale over that particular 1-4-5 progression. Another thing you could do is you could incorporate the A major pentatonic scale. All right, we were just doing the A minor pentatonic scale, so now we can do the A major pentatonic scale. So in order to do a major pentatonic scale is you're going to use your pinky and you're going to locate the root, which is A. Okay, so A is going to be the root of our scale here. There's your A. And then we could apply that same pentatonic shape that we all know and love. All right, so this is your A major pentatonic scale, and this sounds like this. Okay. Now, you can also add in your blue note as well in the same exact location that you would as if this was a minor pentatonic scale. Okay, so you can make this the A major blues scale. Alright, so let me try to improvise using this A major pentatonic framework or A major blues framework and see how that sounds. Alright, so right there I was sticking completely into the major pentatonic scale. Okay, so that was A major pentatonic scale. It's the same framework as we just worked in, except it's now shifted with your pinky landing on the A, which is the tonic note of the scale, as opposed to your first finger landing on the tonic note of the scale. Now, of course, the same pentatonic scale and blues scale can be extrapolated to cover the entire fretboard as well. Your pentatonic position number 1 is here, your pentatonic position number 2, 3, 4, the same 5 pentatonic positions still fall in the same order relative to one another. The only difference is now we're viewing this from the perspective of A major as opposed to the perspective of A minor, which we did previously. Okay, so as you saw there, whatever key you happen to be in this particular instance, we're in the key of A. Okay, the 1 chord is A, the 4 chord is D, the 5 chord is E. That puts you in the key of A. You can either make your playing sound, bluesy and minorish, if that's a word, by applying the A minor pentatonic scale. Okay, that was the first example that we did. And of course, if you wanted to move from just your one position, you could expand your pentatonic scale to all 5 positions and cover the entire fretboard, as you saw. You could also play over that same 1-4-5 chord progression. You could play the A major pentatonic scale. And everything is the same, all the 5 pentatonic positions are the same. The only difference is everything is kind of shifted now, okay, because you locate your pentatonic position 1 using your pinky. So instead of locating it with your first finger, you locate it with your pinky. Okay, so that's your A major pentatonic scale, and then all of the 5 pentatonic positions relative to your pentatonic position number 1. Okay, so next we're going to look at how we'd go about making some sort of a hybrid out of this. Okay, how would we combine both the A major and the A minor pentatonics to play over the 1-4-5 progression and to make some kind of cool bluesy hybrid sounding licks. Okay, so let's zoom back into the fretboard and see how we might go about approaching that. Alright, so one thing you might want to do in order to essentially make a hybrid of the pentatonic major and the pentatonic minor scale would be to look at the chords, okay? So as I said, you could make this chord progression a 1-4-5 progression in either A major or A minor. If you were to make it an A major, okay, your 1, 4, and 5 chords would be all major chords. So you have your A major chord here, you have your D major chord here, and you have your E major chord here. Okay, or you can make them all minor. You can have an A minor chord here, or you can have a D minor chord as your 4 chord, and you can have an E minor chord as your 5 chord. Alright, now the only difference between a major chord and a minor chord is the third. Okay, the root is the same, the fifth is the same, but it is the third of the chord that dictates whether it is a major or a minor. So we're going to use that piece of information to help us blend these two scales together in order to come up with some sort of a hybrid. Okay, so first you want to locate where your thirds would be. Okay, so here's your A minor chord, here's your A major chord. Okay, so your third would be here or here. Okay, so knowing that, you can just go from a minor third to a major third and kind of use that okay, minor to major right there. That's giving you a bit of a hybrid right there. You can also do the same thing with the D minor chord or the D major chord. So here's your D minor chord, here's your D major chord. It's hard to get that high E string in there, but here's your third for minor and here's your third for major. Okay, you can do the same thing for the E. Here's your minor, E minor, here's your E major. Okay, here's your third. So same thing, minor third to major third. Okay, and also kind of keeping in mind where the other chord tones are as well. All right, so when you're playing over top of the A chord, not only do you want to just kind of hit that third, the minor to major third, but you could also kind of hit the other chord tones. Okay, for the D, you could do the minor to major third thing, but also hit the other chord tones. Same thing for the E. Alright, so in addition to these chord tones and the just, focusing on the thirds, you also have your, your pentatonic scales to use as your frameworks as well. So not only do you have these little minor to major third licks to do, okay, you can also incorporate the entire A minor pentatonic scale or the A minor blues scale as well. Okay, and at any point as you're soloing in that, A minor or A minor pentatonic or A minor blues, you can always throw in that major or that minor to major lick as well. Okay, or for the D chord or the E chord. Okay, same thing for the E chord. Alright, additionally, you can also throw in your A major pentatonic or your A major blues, okay? Alright, so now we're kind of shifted out of position here, or we were kind of all sticking right in this position, you know. So if you wanted to kind of go A major pentatonic, you could look to either shifting all the way down here, or you could just kind of play your pentatonic position number 2 of the A major pentatonic scale. Okay, I don't mean to try and throw too much at once at you, I don't mean to confuse you, but if this is your pentatonic position number 1, then your pentatonic 2 position number 2 would be here. Okay, so in my opinion, it's a little hard to kind of think of overlapping A minor pentatonic position 1 and A major pentatonic position 2. That's a little difficult for me to think of, so that's why I prefer to think of it in terms of, you know, just understanding where the chords are. Okay, and this pentatonic scale, and this pentatonic scale. Okay, so using all that information, okay, you have, you know, 2 blues scales. You have your A minor blues scale, you have your A major blues scale, and you have the chord tones from both the major versions of the chords and the minor versions of the chords. You can just kind of come up with your own licks and phrases and all kinds of stuff, all right? All right, so just giving that framework right there, let's just try to do a little improv of, you know, what kinds of hybridized scales would sound like, okay? So let's hear how that sounds. So that was a quick little demonstration about how you might go about making a hybrid out of the pentatonic minor and the pentatonic major. Okay, so the hybrid part comes from the chords, okay? A major versus A minor, D major versus D minor, E major versus E minor. Those are the 1, 4, and 5 chords of either the key of A major or the key of A minor, okay? So you can use your A minor pentatonic scale, you can use your A major pentatonic scale, or you can make a hybrid out of them by focusing on, you know, the minor third and the major third, as we saw. Okay, so, and obviously we were just working in one position here, but the same idea can be spread across the entire fretboard if you know your chord shapes, you know your caged shapes, and you know your 5 pentatonic positions. So with all that stuff, you can combine the 2 and make a hybrid out of it. Alright, so Ken, I hope that answered your question. Anyone else, if you have questions or lesson requests, I'll be glad to make a lesson about it. Alright, thanks a lot.